Welcome everybody to Let's Talk About It. A podcast is a platform for real talk, real people, real topics, real conversations. People who are watching me on YouTube today, please like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that notification button. If you're watching me for the first time on YouTube, thank you so much. Please like this video, push me to a different algorithm, hit that notification button. People listen to me on audio, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I love it. Thank you so much. Keep on supporting. Hit that notification button when these episodes drop out. You'll be like the first one to know what's going to drop out. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is my thoughts, my opinions. I'm doing my afterthoughts of my story right now. I'm almost completed that one. But you know what? I have a lot of thoughts and opinions about a lot of things out there that, some of you might want to know, might not want to know. We can have an open discussion about this because it's kind of hard to bring on certain people about certain topics. Some people want to talk about it. Some people don't. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about stereotypes. Stereotypes of Black people, especially Black men, in my opinion only. Other stereotypes out there in the world, just my opinion, especially about Black men. That's one of the biggest things in stereotypes in the Black community. Just some of it, because there's so much of it. We'll be here all day. You know what I mean? Excuse me, forgive me, I got a little cold here. I'm trying to get over that stuff. So let's kick this episode off, ladies and gentlemen. Stereotypes, especially against Black men. I'm going to read you something that's in the Wikipedia. That's written in the Wikipedia. It's stereotypes of Black men. That's the way it's written. That's the title. I'm trying to follow YouTube guidelines and everybody else's guidelines. I know it's a little sensitive subjects and stuff like that. But I'm going to do the best I can. All right. This is the definition. This is the phrases that they have in the Wikipedia about stereotypes of Black men. Laziness, submissiveness, backwardness, lewdness, treachery, and dishonesty. Wow. So if you're a Black man, you be like, what the hell? Why are we getting all this? Why are we getting all this negativity like this? These are stereotypes historically assigned to African-American males, or if you want to call yourself a Black American, African-American, whatever your preference is. These has been assigned to us historically. There's a definition of whiteness and blackness, also in Wikipedia. Let's go over the whiteness part. In the U.S., whiteness is associated with goodness, morality, intelligence, and attractiveness, while blackness is stereotyped to be the opposite of these traits. I don't like the terminology of it. I'm basically trying to say that Black is bad and white is good. We can get the big debate about that. I just want to put that out there to everybody. You can look it up yourself. You know what I mean? Let's continue. Let's go with what Black men are being portrayed in the media. There's 3 words that we're being portrayed in the media as. I guess, from past experiences, maybe people have, or what's out there in the media. Black men are being portrayed in the media as 3 different phrases. Number 1 is crime. Number 2 is violence. And number 3 is moral failures. They gave little examples with that, saying that Black men have the highest crime rate. They're involved in the highest crime rate. That we're involved in the most violence. That we have the higher failure in morality, like raising kids and stuff like that. Are we in the charts for that? Yes. Are we the tops? No, we're not. I'm not gonna get into who's more or what nationality is more and this and that. I just want to let you know that's a stereotype that we are not in the tops of those categories. You can look it up yourself. I just want to get that out there. They also says African Americans have the most stereotypes of any other culture in the world. We have the most stereotypes of any other culture in the world. I did an episode with D about stereotypes with black women. Go back on my page and check that out. It was a ton of stereotypes about black women, ton of them. And, you know what I mean? Right. We talked about those and we dismissed a lot of those stereotypes because it seemed like if a certain few individuals does something, we all get grouped into it. That you can say that by any culture, any race. Because we're going to keep on going down the line with that. And we just get stereotyped in whoever does, especially with social media or anything that media reports. They love to report stuff that's look bad against the black community, the black culture, and we get all grouped into one. Let's continue, ladies and gentlemen. It was said that black men are 20% more likely to get stopped and searched by law enforcement. And this is in the last years. Is it 20% more likely? Yeah, possibly. You know, I know me personally, I've been pulled over in the last, 20 years, like 8 times. Searched 5. Found nothing. Unreasonable stops. But there was only one that I think I failed for a stop sign and they got me. That was my fault. Now you can say this about anybody, you know, we get stereotyped about this all the time. Now this is the stats is out there, but they don't also tell you the other stats in the last 3 years that other cultures have been pulled over and searched 27% more than black males. But they say that black males are 20% more likely to get searched. Now, has black males done stuff in the past or done things? Yeah. But like, again, we get all grouped. But other people have been searched like that. It's kind of like having a stereotype against law enforcement. You know, you get people say, oh man, all law enforcement are bad. No, that's not true. That's not true. Just like how all black people are not bad. Just like all white people are not bad. It's a lot of stereotypes against that. You know, there are a lot of good law enforcement officers out there. I know a couple of them. Couple bad seeds. That's all it is. Couple bad seeds. But yeah, they said we're 20% more likely to be, stopped and searched. Is it wrong? Yes, it is. Have they pulled over other people that have been guilty? Yes. And does the media blow it up by saying that, okay, all black people go through this? No. A lot of times, just drive. You drive regular, obey the law, everything good. You don't got to worry about it. But sometimes it happens where you'll get pulled over and searched for no reason because you're black, and you might have bad law enforcement that'll pull you over. But shit like that happens. That's just my opinion of it. So let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, to something a lot of people don't talk about. Stereotypes of white people. There are stereotypes of white people out there. There are. There are like 4 main ones. My white audience will probably agree with this or disagree with it. Number one, that stereotypes of all white people, not all, but that's what they say all, but I'm not saying all. They're racist. No, not all white people are racist. They're greedy. They're materialistic. They have a prejudice against other cultures. Now, you see on media, you'll see they make fun of little Karens, or as they call them, or other people making a disturbance. Yeah, there are people out there like that. There are people like that. There's nothing you can do about that. But not all white people are the same. Not just like all black people are the same. I think there's a small few of every race that's bad that put stereotypes on the whole race. That's just my opinion, my thoughts of it. That's something you never really hear about, stereotypes of white people. Never really heard about that, but if you want to come on and talk about it, we can talk about it. Let's talk about stereotypes of black on black. And they started this off years ago. And I actually went through this too, because I'm an 80s kid. I was born in the 70s, but I grew up in the 80s. There's three types of, I guess you might as well call shades of black people, Afro-American people. There's light skin, there's brown skin like me, and there's dark skin. And it was like a little black on black stereotype there too. You know what I mean? Between each other. And the media egged it on. They put it in the movies all the time. Like, if you was light skinned, a lot of people would say, no, you're trying to be a W, I guess. Wanna, you know what I mean? But you know how it ends with. B. Wanna be white or whatever because you light skinned. And it's be a lot of stereotypes on that one. Dark skin was jig, boo. You know what I mean? They just talk about that right there. A lot of stereotypes on that one as well. That's back and forth. And then people would just run with that. And people would just bring it all together, talk about all this shit. And if you're brown skin, you just regular. You just fit in. I remember my mom just talked about that, because she was high yellow, high light skin. She grew up in the 60s. Born in the 50s, grew up in the 60s. She was not light enough to be white because she was highly yellow, and not dark enough to be black. She wasn't brown enough to be regular. She was like high yellow. You know what I mean? And my father, he was like dark skin. So I came out in between them both. And she told me how hard it was back in the day for the racial colors between black people. And sometimes it happens today. You know what I mean? To where it comes around about where you're raised in black communities. Are you raised in a quote unquote hood or ghetto or something like that? They stereotype you that way. What type of education you had? Do you have both parents? Do you have a mother and a father? Or you just have a mother? There's a stereotype on that one as well, that black people or black men only have their mother. And black kids who raised in another environment, like the suburbs, have mother and father. That's not true, because you see black men with a black mother and black father. You know what I mean? But there's cases where you don't have a black mother. It happens, but it happens in all cultures though, not just the black community, not just stereotypes of black people. There's also a stereotype of between us, are you black enough? Some of us, not all of us. Are you black enough? Why are you not talking black? Why are you not why are you trying to talk white? Because you're speaking proper English or whatever. Because you know how it is, if you speak proper English, some people say you trying to be white. What is talking black? What is being black? I don't know what that shit mean. It don't matter to me. We've all been through that. Are you black enough because you wasn't born in an all black area? Maybe you was born in suburbs or whatever. It's all type of stereotypes with that. That's within our own community as well. Now, if you talk about that in our own community, people well, why you trying to bring us down, uplift us and shit like that? I'm just busting out there. You know what I mean? It's true. It's facts. That's what's out there. It's stereotypes within us both, and stereotypes against us and within us. And a lot of people don't want to talk about that. But that's just my opinion. We don't have to agree. You know what I mean? So, let's continue on that one. Listen, I know the stereotypes against black people out there all over the place. And we know there's racism out there. There's racism all type of places. That's the next subject. Racism. That's a big one. Stereotypes. Like I said earlier, the stereotypes against white people. They're racist. Now they're starting to be stereotypes against us that we're racist against white people. That we don't have the right to be racist against white people. That we're racist against ourselves. There's all type of stereotypes out there. We go through it. You know what I mean? Or we prejudice or whatever. Racism is a big thing. It goes all over the place. If you want to do your history, like the whole racism thing started in the like thousands of years ago, right? With the Persians, years ago. Has nothing to do with us. Because if you notice, right, there's only two cultures that claim each other racist or really use the word racism. It's either black or white. You don't really hear about Latinos talking about it, Asians talking about it, or any other culture. It's always a black and white issue. It's always ever going to be. And that's how it's always going to be. I don't know why this is the way it is, but that's how the way it is. Racism goes a long way. Will it ever end? No. Will there be racism against black people for a long time? Yeah, there will be. Has it calmed down? Yeah. Is it more hidden now? Yeah, they use the word diversity to hide a lot of it. They use that word. And then somebody said, like, to me one day, do you think black people are racist against anybody else? You can say yes, you can say no. Because if somebody white said to somebody black that, man, all you people do all this stuff, you consider them as racist, right? So let's say somebody black says to somebody white, okay, man, right, all y'all do the same thing. Wouldn't that be considered as racism too? That's just my thoughts. So racism go a long way. It'll never go anywhere, but we do have to really, really get rid of this shit. I don't know how it's going to get rid of, but that's part of stereotypes of racism. It's only really between black and white. Tell you the truth. That's all it really is. So let's move on. Let's go to a different type of stereotypes. Let's go into stereotypes of just men in general. All men in general. The first stereotype is they are taught, or they're not soft, they're not serious, they're unemotional, and they don't talk about their feelings. That's all men. That's what they're saying. Well, I'm saying that depends where you're raised and how you're raised by. I was raised that, you have to be strong, you have to be tough. You can't show your emotions, can't show your feelings, because that wouldn't make you a man. And a lot of people say, no, it's okay to show your emotions. It's okay to show your feelings. And I think as men, as we get older, we show our emotions and show our feelings. But we got to be very, very careful. Because if a man shows emotions and feelings around another man, majority of the time, I don't know if it's a stereotype to you, you could be considered as weak. You can't be all emotional and all this and that around another dude all the time, because they're going to see you as weak and they're going to try you. Some men will support you. Some women will support you. But that's one of the biggest stereotypes of men, that they don't know how to be soft. They're too serious. They're unemotional. And I think a lot of men nowadays are starting to get past that and just say, screw it, fuck it. I'm going to show my sensitive side. But it's kind of a hit or miss with that. You got to be very, very careful with that. The next one is being decisive, aggressive, argumentative, and violent. There are men out there like that, but not all men. Not all men are decisive. They're not aggressive. They're not argumentative. They're not violent. They're not manipulators. Some people would say today that's, I think, like narcissistic tendencies. Unless you're being diagnosed with that medically, you can say whatever you want, call them whatever you want. But that's what they say. That's another one that men have. It's going to continue. That men always like to be in control or in charge of everything. I know some women do like it when men are in charge and control the situation. They find like a turn on or something that's very good for them. But some men, I guess, overtake it. They take it to the next level, but not all men. Like I said, these are stereotypes of men or in general that's been put out there. That's what men do. That all men cheat. All men do not cheat. Have they cheated? Have some men cheated in their past? Yeah, I know I have. If And they always say that all men, once you're a cheater, always gonna be a cheater. It's not true. It's not true. Depends on the situation. Depends who you with, what happens. Not justifying it, but that's another stereotype of men. You know, which I wish they stopped doing. You know, it's all type of stereotypes of guys like that. They're power hungry. They're on a powerless kick. They want to be dominant over women. They have no respect for women. It's a lot of men that have respect for women. So that's another stereotype that just needs to go away as well. So those are some of the stereotypes of men all in general that is no good, doesn't make no sense. You just got to get rid of them. But on another subject, you know, let's talk about the gender stereotypes. This is a small subject. Gender stereotypes. There are gender stereotypes. They're saying women are better at reading. So all women are better at reading. True or not true? There might be. Men are better at math. They say that's a stereotype. Females are more well behaved than males. That might be true. I think that's true. I ain't gonna lie to you. Men are better in sports than all women. That's a stereotype too, because there's a lot of women great at sports. Trust me, way better than women. I mean, listen, I was watching WNBA. Some of them girls, man, they can play in the NBA. So yeah, I mean, that females are more creative. True or not true? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think everybody is creative. Do I think women are more creative than men? All depends on what it is. All depends on what it is and what you're putting out there. So, I mean, we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, people watch me on YouTube, YouTube. Listen to me on Apple and Spotify and iHeartRadio. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share, give it a share, give it a comment, hit that notification button. I appreciate you. You know, this little side note, I know this has really nothing to do with stereotypes, but it kind of does. I'm going to ask everybody a question. It's crazy. What race is most likely to be a victim of a crime? Now, some people probably say black or white or whatever. 44% of mixed race people are more susceptible to crime. Excuse me. There's a lot of stereotypes against mixed race people. They don't know who they are. They want this or that. They don't know if they're black or white or whatever they are. You know, they have the highest rating right now of being a victim in a crime. And what's crazy is, and this is on another spectrum, 43% is more likely to experience a crime than the mixed race is gay and lesbian community. Especially at 58% of the black gay and lesbian community will experience more crime against them. You know, that's another subject right there too, right? That they feel that something I actually read that was crazy, that gay and lesbian African Americans get more stereotyped than any other culture that's gay or lesbian. That's crazy. It's like the black American or African American have more to do or prove or whatever than if you're a white gay or lesbian. They had the higher numbers. It's crazy. Stereotypes against them. Meaning, right, there's less stereotypes against someone of another culture who's white or Spanish or whatever, who was gay and lesbian, than someone who is black. They have more stereotypes against them in the gay and lesbian community. It's crazy. I never thought about that. So, like I said, there's a lot of stereotypes, you know, against us. You know, I just want to let everybody know, again, the African American culture and Black American culture has the highest stereotypes against, highest, than any other race, any other culture out there. It doesn't make a difference if you're gay or straight or whatever. If you're black, you have a stereotype against you. Is it because of what a certain few does and everybody gets grouped in? Maybe. Maybe like people really feel that way about our culture. And our culture is used talently, entertainment wise, invention wise, like the products that we use. 68% of in this world of the entertainment that we watch, the products that we use, the inventions that they came out, and 68% used around the world came from the black culture. But we get more stereotypes. Go figure that. That's gonna be more on my. Let's talk about untold history with Lou J. Stay tuned for that in the future. Here goes something, ladies and gentlemen. The black consumers, people who buy things, African Americans or Black Americans or whatever. They say black consumers has the highest purchasing power since 2020. Highest purchasing power, black consumers, right? So that is 1.6 trillion. That's 9% of the total U.S. buying power. That's per year. Again, 1.6 trillion. But he also says, but has the least black-owned products to be purchased out of 1.6 trillion. That says the least black-owned. They buy more than black-owned. Now, according to my stats, I don't know what least is to them, but out of that 1.6 trillion, I know 2.3 billion have been used on buying black-owned products, black consumers. I don't know if that's least compared to whatever, but I didn't know that it was that high of a number. So, yes, maybe it's another stereotype right there that we don't buy enough. Maybe we do buy enough. We don't buy enough. That's another stereotype. But that's the black consumers. We buy over 1.6 trillion. Now, here go another one. There was a stereotype that there's not enough black African American or black owned businesses. It's not enough. That it's like in the whatever. This is what I found out. Since 2023, okay, there is over 194,585 businesses, black owned businesses since 2023. So that is over 211.8 billion in annual receipts. That is also, they employ 1.6 million people in this country. These are black-owned businesses. And also, they have an annual payroll salary of $61.2 billion. Now, I don't know, they say that's not enough, where's enough, or whatever, but that's a lot of money. I mean, that's a lot of money right there for black-owned businesses. It's way higher than how it was back starting in the 20s or in the 1800s or in the 60s. It's been progressing. It's building every year. There's actually every year there is at least 1,000 new black-owned businesses since 2020. So now you could say it's stereotypical barbershops or whatever, but no, there's companies out there. And in a future episode, I'm gonna talk about like a lot of black-owned businesses out there. Are they being talked about enough in the media? No. Has anybody ever said that, they have annual receipts of $211 billion per year? No. Are they saying they employ, these black-owned businesses have 1.6 million employees? No. Are they saying they pay 61.2 billion annual payroll? No. Nobody talks about that. I wish more people talk about that. But that's something right there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the main event. One of the biggest controversies out there is interracial dating. It's a stereotype on that one. Stereotypes from the black on black side, white side, whatever. But interracial dating is multicultural dating, right? But for some reason, it's only classified with black or white. Black or white. That's what they really classify interracial black and white. That if you look at the numbers, if you want to say people have a problem with black and white dating or whatever, stereotypes against that, by the numbers, you have more white people who interracially date than black people. Now you probably say, "Oh yeah. White people, black people." No, you have more white people in interracial dating with Latinos and Asian than the African American community. But it's more stereotypes against, let's say, a white woman and a black male. There's more stereotypes against that. Now, that's a sensitive subject for a lot of people. If you have a black male and a white female, the biggest stereotype is that all black women don't like that. That the biggest stereotype is you taking away our men. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. There are some black women who don't like it. Not all, but there are some. But I don't like it when they say all black women hate it. Some black women don't give two shits. Or they'll say white men, this is another stereotype about white men, which I don't think is true. I would say stop saying this. That when white women date black men, that they're considered trash. They don't want to deal with them. Now, some women may feel that way, some may not. There's a stereotype about white men that feel that once they find out that if a white woman dates a black man, they don't want to date them no more because they consider them as trash or wasted because a black man had them. So I want to know, what is the problem with a black man and a white woman dating? Because I can tell you right now, I'm in an interracial relationship. I'm dating a white woman. I have dated black women. I've dated Latino women. I have kids. Now, 2 kids are racially mixed and 2 kids are black with black women. Now, to me, I don't see it. Now, that's another stereotype. But oh, that's not true, whatever, this and that, whatever. It is, well, that's your preference. But I feel kind of funny that nobody talks about or hardly says it's a stereotype. There's not enough stereotypes, not enough flack against if you have a white man with a black woman. Now, there's hardly no stereotypes against that at all. I looked it up. I didn't see none. I don't really hear that much. Because if you want to look at interracial dating, like I said, because everybody talking about black men, white women, white men date more out of their race than black men do. They do. Number 1 is Latino. Number 2 is Asian. Number 3 is mixed race. Number 4 is black women. So you want to have a stereotype. What about that one? That's a stereotype too. That's documented. Documented. That more, they talking about against black men. And I'm not trying to put shit on between white men and black men, but it's how's that not talked about? But that's just my opinion. I don't think it's fair. But a lot of people don't know about that because it's only reported about black men. No other race. But tell me what you think. Now, that's just some of the stereotypes out there. You may agree, you may not agree. Hope you liked it. Please give this video a like. If you're watching on YouTube, I try to follow the guidelines. I don't know if I did or not because some of it could be considered shocking content. But if you're listening to me on Apple and Spotify and iHeartRadio, please give me a like. Give me a thumbs up. Give it a share. Share it out. Or send me an email, at let's talk about it _71 at yahoo.com. That's let's talk about it all one word. Let's talk about it. _71 at yahoo.com. Shoot me a DM on my Instagram, or because everything will be in the comments. Let's talk about it. You want to come on the show and debate this or whatever about any things I talked about? Let me know. Hope everybody have a good day, good night, and we will see you next time on Let's Talk About It. Peace.